Hello, my name's Ted. This is the Issues of Life. And I want to talk a little bit today. Um, you know, I've been last couple of months or even longer. You look around at what's going on in the world today, and you don't have to look far to really see how bad things are getting around us. Uh, just whether it's crime, corruption, um, and those are the things that probably are a little more evident, or you know, uh, what's going on in our government, regardless, putting aside what side of the fence that you might fall on, but also things that that aren't reported kind of in the mainstream media, if you will. Things like human trafficking, sex trafficking of young people, young kids, not not in some other countries, but here in the United States, but around the world. If you pay attention, it's huge. It's a huge industry. And we can look at all these things, and I'm guilty of it. I like watching the news and staying informed, but sometimes I have to check myself because I allow those things to affect my perspectives and my attitudes and my what's the word I want to use? My disposition, if you will. And so how do you how do you deal with that? You're getting bombarded on all sides of all this negative stuff going on around you. Very easy to become discouraged and and just negative and sad. So here's a few things that I like to remind myself of when I get what I feel like getting too caught up, too focused on all these things around me, too passionate about what's going on in our government and stuff like that, which today happens to be a day we got some big news about our justice system and just the crookedness of everything, and you know and it's easy to get focused on those things. And so here's what I remind myself of. Number one, this world is not my home. This is not my home. I'm passing through. God, yes, he made me, he created me. I was born, and um I've been living for 50 plus years on this earth. But guess what? When this body gets old and can't anymore, I'm going to step out of this body and I'm going to step into eternity. And I'm going to spend all of the rest of eternity, which is forever. We can't even imagine that. In the presence of the creator of all things. Now I thought about this today, and you know, we can't our minds cannot even comprehend how awesome that's going to be. There's going to be no sin, no imperfection, no tears, no jealousy, no corruption, but there's going to be fullness of joy. Fullness of joy. We don't even know what that is. You know? You think if somebody wins the lottery and they're jumping up and down going crazy. And, you know, yeah, and I can relate with that emotion. You know, your favorite sports team wins, you know, wins the national championship. Oh, wrong side. You know, that's exciting. But there's nothing that's going to compare to when we get home. So that's one of the things I have to remind myself of. That I'm passing through. And while I'm here, and in comparison, I'll say this also, in comparison to eternity, which our finite minds can't even comprehend, but in comparison to forever, these 80, hopefully 100 or more years that we might get to spend on this earth right now, in comparison, those 80 to 100 years here are not even a drop of water in the sea, or a grain of sand on the beach. Not even that. It's a speck. It's a breath. So our life here on this earth is very short. And we need to make the best of it. The only way we can do that is to connect with the God that created us and know that there's a purpose for us being here. The other thing I always remind myself of when I'm looking at what's going on in our government and politics and all that is my trust is not in governments. Our trust and our faith has to be in our King, who is the Lord Jesus Christ. And he's the one that's going to walk us through. And he has a plan. And let me just tell you some bad news. It's not going to get much better. It's going to get worse. But, that being said, if we're plugged in to our God, our King, the one who created us, we can walk this out and we can be the light that he designed us to be. In the midst of all this garbage, in the midst of all this darkness going around, we can be the light, and we can stand up and bring hope to many people that are looking around and feeling hopeless right now. This is the Issues of Life.